I don't think there are a lot of Italian restaurants who are trying to do what we are doing in Moderna at the moment. Actually, I don't know many. Actually, I don't know any. We are kind of unique in our concept. I think we are the first one bringing something like that on the table. Because most of the Italian restaurants in this country are very traditional, like Al Dente. So our traditional restaurant where you go there, you eat your carbonara, you eat your cacio e pepe, and you're happy. That's great. Al Dente was our first venture, so it was kind of difficult in the beginning. For me, it wasn't that difficult to conceptualize the menu because the food we're serving in Al Dente is a classic Italian food. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel here, It's already there. In Moderna, it's more complicated, but Al Dente was kind of easy to put together the menu here. If you talk about the traditional Italian dish, the main thing is always the ingredients. Because Italian food, compared to other cuisine, it's very simple. There are 3 or 4 ingredients, but very high quality ingredients. Let's take an example of the carbonara. What you need? Eggs, guanciale, pecorino, and pepper are 4 ingredients. If you take an average French dish, there are tons of ingredients. It's a completely different logic. I mean, I don't say this is better or worse, it's just different. But the key of making a good Italian dish is to have a very high quality ingredient. Al Dente is already probably known to be an affordable Italian restaurant with a good quality food, traditional food. Of course, we have few dishes fusion also here, but not the kind of fusion you will be surprised, So for me, Al Dente is a very good Italian trattoria, affordable. That's our goal. Our goal is to make Italian food affordable to most of the people. For me, it doesn't make any sense to pay a plate of pasta 1,500 pesos. It really doesn't make any sense. And there is no reason to do that, So that's exactly what Al Dente is.
For us here in Al Dente is definitely to have a flight ticket to Italy without flying to Italy. That's the goal. One of the reasons I'm always here is because I want the standard to not be lost on the process. So I'm here, you see me outside if you pass by, eating some food, drinking some wine. And this is because not only I'm checking the operation with role-playing and so on, but also because I want the standards to be kept high. I would like to come here and feel like I'm in Italy. And that's what we are trying to infuse to our guests,
Hello, I'm Donatello Montrone, the chef of Moderna. This is the kitchen of our restaurant. This one is the pastry station we have there at the moment, doing the preparation for one of our desserts. This is also the cold station, the same space. We have Jianna here leading the station. This is the hot station with our oven. We have Frank, and Jervy. Moderna is a different restaurant. Moderna is not a traditional Italian restaurant. Moderna is a modern Italian restaurant. So what we do here in Moderna is following Italian technique and recipe, but using local ingredients. This means changing the recipes. So you can read in our menu cacio e pepe, but the cheese is different, the pepper is different. So it's something Italian they are not like, but we don't care. I mean, what we are trying to do is to bring on the table something good, using local. It took me long because, of course, studying the local ingredient take long. I went around, I had the opportunity to meet nice people. Yeah, basically it took me probably more than 6 months just to conceptualize the menu, because technical wise and also ingredient wise it's very complicated, that menu. Okay, for you maybe it looked very simple, but to match all of the ingredients together, make sure the recipe tastes good, it takes time. You know. And then I want to put on the table my idea. Of course it's more difficult, of course it's more technical, of course it's another restaurant. I mean, it's an upscale dining restaurant, you know. I don't think it's a fine dining restaurant, but it's an upscale dining restaurant. And I mean, when you open this kind of restaurant, usually it's very complicated to execute, and you're scared to put out dishes to remind you of home. If I put on the table a version of adobo, you will compare to what your grandmother is making at home. And for sure, the adobo of your grandmother is better than mine. So this is the comparison we don't want to, you know. We have different dishes. We had, like, in our set menu, we had a version of sinigang. And of course people were complaining. But not because it was executing bad, but just because they were comparing to their sinigang. So what they are doing now is a bit different. What we are doing now is to follow the Italian recipe, but just infuse some Filipino ingredient. Yeah. So there is no more comparison in what we are doing.
For me, I want our customer to feel somehow home and feel like they can come back without, you know, doubting, without having a problem on the consistency, both on the food and as well the treatment that we will give them or that they will receive. The customer should come here to have an experience, right? And should like to be coming back. If I just want to have some food, you know, I can prepare it at home, but if I'm coming out, I want to be treated somehow. So that's what I'm trying to infuse to the employees. So being accommodated from the very first beginning is one of the most important things. That allows you to understand how the whole conversation or the whole experience will go, or the relationship that you build up with the guest. You have to be able to understand how the guest is able to open with you, and, you know, keep a more informal or formal position based on that. Very important for recurring guests for me is to remember their name and mention it, or at least if I don't, I really think that one strong component would be, in fact, saying welcome back for those that, you know, have been here before. It's appreciated, you know. It's small signs, from you know, filling up the water when it's already half, or going to the table, filling up the drink, ask them. So we're really oriented on the satisfactory experience on the customer itself. And also the last impression is also very important. So thanking them and welcome them when they go, offering them a limoncello, you know, it's a good experience. It's something that they can remember before they leave.
Al dente, as I said, for me the average customer here expect to eat good traditional Italian food. In Moderna, they want something more experimental, and the group, I hope, will be known to be one of the best Italian group in the Philippines.